My love and passion for the marsh is everything. It's worth protecting to me because without it, we lose a lot.
Just the adventure aspect of getting to a hunt. You know, you'll be on your way to a duck hunt and be going down a channel that twists and turns.
At the beginning of teal season, the excitement that comes with that, I mean,
you finally get them to give it up. I mean, just that whole drama.
you're really hardcore duck hunter. You live for this.
You know, a lot of people have asked me over time why. Why do I love duck hunting more than I love the others? And for me, it's like the dance. You're calling to try and see if they'll come dance with you.
We're a bunch of determined individuals, and we push for wetland conservation. It is our passion.
Get them. Well done! Right. To see them cut and dip and weave.
But seeing those ducks decoy and seeing that acrobatic moves in the air is something I never get tired of.
It was like the epitome of puddle duck hunting.
To watch the birds work is the real objective of the hunt.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2023 edition of Ducks Unlimited Television. I'm Betsy Newble. Since 1997, DUTV has provided audiences with exciting waterfowling and wetlands conservation adventures. Our second quarter century begins with Louisiana teal hunting hosted by Doug Larsson. He joins DU Regional Director Zach Brown and volunteers Nick Lichtenstein and Mason Dugas on both public and private lands in search of migrating blue wings. Doug also hits the bay for spot and stalk fly rod redfish. All next on DUTV.
You know, it's funny to me when I was coming out of the airport, and the very first thing I saw was the car in front of me had the license plate that said Sportsman's Paradise on it, and that's exactly the experience I've had here. Just a cultural explosion of interesting people and interesting places.
Every single one of these shrimp caught with these hands right here. Most rare shrimp on the planet Earth.
You know, the great thing about that is that it just degenerated into laughter immediately.
Shaw, boy. Cuz. What is it, cuz? Come on, cuz. It's a tree shaker.
But when I moved from Oklahoma, you know, I had to have Nick, you know, repeat about everything he said just to try to understand it. Sometimes I felt like we needed to get a translator.
I am born and raised in South Louisiana. I come from a place called Thibodaux.
Meeting Nick has always been interesting.
If you hate somebody, give their kid a drum set, huh? Mason, can't wait for you to have kids,
I was going to say, wait till Mason has kids.
You're not allowed to give my kids anything.
A whole drum set.
The dude's crazy. He's always got something funny to say.
You get him slapping his dog on camera? I'm gonna need that video.
And he's always got to mess with you about something.
Mason, I was shooting ducks before you even knew what a duck was, when you were still locked in the basement. Lumbo's messing with Mason, telling me he's from Ponchatoula.
Yeah, he said, you from Ponchatoula? I
said the way you talk. Why you talk like that? He said, monkey.
Nick was born into Ducks Unlimited and has been involved since he was, you know, in diapers.
This is his duck camp, and he loves it and has grown up here, and it's very important to him generationally. His grandfathers hunted here, his father hunted here.
So I shot my first duck here at River Rest when I was 9 or 10 years old, but my grandfather and 5 other guys who were all friends through Ducks Unlimited found this place, I think 32 years ago or 33 years ago. And it's been a really cool place for us, but it's been one of those places where you've had to do some work to maintain it. It's not one of those deals where you just show up and everything's taken care of.
Model ducks.
So my grandfather's kind of instilled in us, like, hey, in order to reap the benefits, you got to put in the work. Did he break?
They're about to sit. Yep. Nope, they're up. They're up.
2 days ago, there were no teal here. They had not got here. And it's amazing that these birds, they know when it's time. They show up.
Get ready, boys.
I was starting to get a little uneasy because we hadn't seen any birds. And then obviously today we got in the blind this morning and boom.
Let's go.
that, baby.
There was many a times when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and there would be ducks in the decoys, right? And there were a couple mornings when my grandfather said, look, don't shoot these ducks. Let's just watch them in the decoys for a few minutes. And he said, look, those ducks are in those decoys because of Ducks Unlimited, because of the conservation work by Ducks Unlimited for this resource. So if you want to continue to shoot these ducks for the rest of your life, you can't just take it and expect it to be there forever. And you need to give back to the resource.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Habitat, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited. Browning Firearms, the best there is. Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation, that's Higdon. And Ducks Unlimited's 85th anniversary, celebrating 85 years as North America's leader in wetlands conservation.
Especially here, you really see the emphasis on what else Ducks Unlimited benefits in these wetlands.
One in particular is the fisheries. You know, our fisheries here in the state are incredibly important to Louisiana.
I had the opportunity to take a little bit of a busman's holiday on this trip because the other thing that I enjoy as much as duck hunting is fly fishing for redfish, and we got the opportunity to do some of that a little bit farther south in Louisiana and got to fish with Captain Ron Ratcliffe at Marsh Dawn, a little bit farther south from here, and he's a great captain. We had a great fly fishing day with him, and man, I love those fish, but to come down here, they're not the redfish that I'm used to. They feed them better or something, because boy, we saw some big redfish.
See that push, 12 o'clock? Yeah, a little bit left, 5 feet long. Strip, long strip, long strip. Keep stripping, keep stripping. Strip, strip. That, there you go.
Oh. I hate my life right now.
Fly fishing will do that, man.
I took 10 seconds to sharpen that thing because I knew I bunged it up on oysters, so I got the point right.
Yeah.
And I strip set him good, and I gave him like an extra bump, and I thought, okay, he's hooked up. This is a no-brainer.
Well, I thought he was on pecan, you know?
Yeah.
Oh well, that'll be another one.
Those of us that hunt know that, you know, hunters and sportsmen spend their dollars wisely and contribute to conservation. You know, they've done the studies on what, you know, 2 guys that come down and charter a skiff will leave like $2,000 a day in the economy.
Exactly. So what we're doing this year, we're working with ASGA, which is the same group that took care of the striper situation in the Northeast. And hopefully together we can come up with a resolution to give a monetary value to a released fish. I mean, how many eggs does one bull red have, you know? So one bull red is worth hundreds of thousands of slot fish. I mean, we've seen a lot of large fish here, but we want to have a lot of large fish for years to come.
Whatever the sport leaves in restaurants, gasoline, hotel, rental car, et cetera, like you can basically repeat it for released fish.
Exactly. That was something at 11 o'clock right there.
You know what jazzes me up about redfish is they're kind of like an aquatic coyote. They will just about eat anything. They're very aggressive, but they're hard to locate. 95% of the battle of redfishing is finding redfish. We are in big redfish. We just haven't quite cracked the code yet. We got, I mean, every spot Ron has put us to, we've seen some awesome big fish. So it's just a matter of putting 2 and 2 together, but we're closing in on it.
Look, you got one at 2 o'clock swimming left.
Once you find one in a vulnerable place, primarily shallow water, let's say at low tide, you can usually entice them to eat.
Bump it, bump, bump, bump.
You know, it's interesting, I spent a lot of time in the summer fishing for redfish, and it allows me the chance to look at the marsh more from a micro perspective. Instead of sitting in the marsh looking for ducks, looking at the sky, trying to see the big picture of where the ducks may come into one portion of the marsh or another, you're looking in the water where you see everything else that's involved. It just lets you dissect the marsh in a different way, and it's so enjoyable.
Captured!
Louisiana has long been known as the sportsman's paradise, and it's home to a wide variety of waterfowl, wildlife, and fish species. Hunting and fishing are a way of life here, as generations have passed on outdoor traditions. Those traditions have been forged in the marshes, rivers, and bayous. Waterfowl and wetlands conservation also has an important place in that Louisiana culture. Louisiana was once completely wild country with natural wetlands covering the coastal and inland landscapes. Ducks and geese wintered there by the millions, enjoying the vast ecosystem of the lower Mississippi alluvial valley. As time passed, the landscape changed. Coastal wetlands loss from major storms, saltwater intrusion, and population expansion has taken its toll. DU is working hard to reverse that trend and make significant progress rebuilding the landscape using innovation and long-range vision to bring the Louisiana wetlands ecosystem back to life. In the coming years, DU is committed to continuing Louisiana restoration and conservation, but it takes dedication from our volunteers and donors, our corporate and state partners. Louisiana is fortunate to have them all right there, folks willing to roll up their sleeves and put in the work, ensuring a bright future, not only for wildlife and waterfowl, but their family, friends, and neighbors as well. To find out how you can help Ducks Unlimited restore wetlands in Louisiana and throughout North America, please check out our website at ducks.org.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com.
One of my favorite things about duck hunting is being able to go and hunt some of those projects and some of those areas where you take a piece of property and habitat that has no beneficial use to waterfowl at all. You put it in the hands of DU and our conservation staff, and you turn it into this pristine wetland and able to go out there and make a hunt and reap the benefits of some of the work that we do.
Two to the right.
And just helps as a waterfowl hunter just fall in love with it all over again.
Single. Get ready, boys.
Shoot it.
I like it.
So correct me if I'm wrong, more of what DU does on private land is contract work.
It is. We do a lot of work with NRCS where they'll have federal dollars and they hire us strictly as a contractor. So we're just a professional in the business to help deliver the work. And it needs to be that way because this is what we do day in and day out. You know, conservation is our mission. Everything that we do in design, the benefit is the duck.
The marsh next door to me back home was in private hands. It was just purchased by the state, and the first people they called to bring in and upgrade the levees and get everything squared away before they turn it loose to public hunting was DU.
Yeah, and look, this is important too, especially here in Louisiana. Every state WMA and federal property in Louisiana that has wetlands on it has a DU project there. Many of them open for public hunting.
Light them up.
Some of the biggest challenges with getting youth involved with waterfowl hunting and the conservation behind all of it is getting them to see the big picture. What comes after just getting to go on the hunt, those 60 days that we get to hunt ducks.
The university program has been
It's the coolest thing ever.
the coolest thing ever.
When I got involved with the university program, I had never really been very involved with Ducks Unlimited at all up until that point.
I mean, man, I've been part of DU since I was 7, but I remember when I was in college, DU wasn't a priority for me, and see these kids in college, the best years of their lives, willing to volunteer and give up time and energy and to make this stuff happen. It's just unbelievable.
Shoot him.
Watching Mason transition from throwing a big college party to transitioning into that, you know, that adult chapter and being able to, you know, make some serious money for the ducks has just been an absolute pleasure to watch.
But I would think that, the DU University program, teaches kids to do things like that. They have to balance books, move inventory, arrange meetings, arrange
Time
events.
management, big thing with, while you're in school, run a chapter or even just help be a part of the committee and do a lot of other side work that has to go on with having an event. It teaches you a lot.
Waterfowl season is on its way. Time for preseason tune-up for your gun dog. Getting them ready to address the skills that are going to be necessary opening day and to get in proper physical condition. First, let's consider nutrition. Our first step is to get our gun dog in great physical shape with exercise and proper nutrition. Our food of choice for the active retriever is Purina Pro Plan Performance. That's 30% protein, 20% fat. Here we are confident that our dog has the digestible fats for energy, the omega acids for a healthy coat to withstand the weather conditions. Our physical conditioning drills will involve long swims as the weather is probably going to be pretty hot. We will build physical stamina gradually while keeping the dog cool. Focus some training time on those important desirables you'll want on the hunt, such as steadiness, delivery to hand, lining on land and water, and marking skills. These may have become a little bit rusty since last season. Now we're really tuning up these skills that are going to be expected on opening day. Decoy spreads, duck blinds, water stands, boats, whatever you're likely to encounter. So let's review. There are 3 steps in preseason tune-up: nutrition, body conditioning, and the skills that are where the dog is going to be expected to perform on opening day. It's practice as you will play.
Duck Dog with Mike Stewart is presented by Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. DUTV is powered by Browning Ammunition, the best there is. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. Tetra Hearing, more than hearing protection, it's hearing perfection. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Zinc Calls, a champion in every call. Closed captioning for Ducks Unlimited Television is brought to you by Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
September means teal season to duck hunters all over the United States. And teal hunting is really too much fun. Just treat it as a warm-up for big ducks. You want to be ready for those little birds. A couple things about teal. They are not as fast as we think they are. They're actually slower than a big duck. They just take us by surprise a lot. Second is they are always closer than you think they are just because they're so small. So you can shoot right at their beak. You don't need any more lead than that. Typically when teal come into the decoys, they come in fast. You might get a crossing shot, and then when somebody shoots, the whole flock clears up, and then you can pick a bird as they're going up and away. On the sporting clays course, you can find shots that look like teal, and those are great ones to practice in September. There are crossing shots. There's actually a shot called a springing teal that goes straight up, actually more straight up than any teal does, but if you can hit that, you can hit a teal too. Practice those, get ready for teal season. You'll hit more birds and you'll have more fun practicing for it too.
Ducks Unlimited's Guns and Gear is brought to you by Tetra Hearing, built for hunters by hunters. Calls, wings, or triggers, hear the hunt like never before.
Hunters being conservationists go hand in hand because they care.
Go.
We want the resource to be around. We want to be able to share those mornings in the blind with our kids and see the joy in their faces. We want to be able to interact with each other, fellowship, learn about each other in the duck blind.
Way to go, fellas.
Yeah.
That is teal hunting.
You know, so our volunteers and our youth and education programs here in the state, from, you know, some of our green wing events, the Jackie Bartels Kids Conservation Fest is one of the biggest green wing events in the country.
Jackie Bartels was my grandmother, and she was one of the biggest proponents of children and conservation. She understood, look, in order for us to be able to have future generations of hunters and conservationists, we need to get the kids involved. So we teamed up with the Children's Museum in Thibodeau. In turn, we were able to put a fishing pole in their hand, we were able to put a duck call in their hand, and show them how to blow a duck call, or show them how to shoot a BB gun and cast a fishing pole and see the fish. And it's really a lot of their first opportunity to be able to do some of this stuff. And here we got a single right here, guys.
It's obviously ideal if you could develop sportsmen, but like these kids might, just the light bulb might come on and they say, you know what?
Shoot it now.
There's other places to get groceries. You know, the outdoors is an important place. These are cool folks.
Yeah. Good shot, Zach.
Mason shot that one, and the decoy.
Yeah, he did. And maybe a piece of the mojo wing. Mason, your dog sucks. It's this generation, man, I'm telling you.
They don't want to work.
Dog picked up 196 ducks before he's a year and a half old. I don't want to hear you mouth.
My dog would have went over there and put that wing back on the mojo.
She probably would.
And brought back a honey bun.
Oh, I like it. This is what duck hunting's about, fellas. Just laughing and joking and...
Yes, sir.
You bullying me?
Me bullying you. It's absolutely what it's about.
Facing significant environmental challenges, Louisiana is a crucial wintering ground for Mississippi flyway waterfowl. No one supports these efforts more than DU Louisiana volunteers on every level. On behalf of all the DU staff members, we thank you, DU Louisiana, for believing in Ducks Unlimited's mission and being a part of it for the past 86 years. Thanks for watching and see you all next time on DUTV.
I'd just like to say that Mason Dugas is a Dollar General Clint Pace. Adam's apple's not quite as strong, Chin's not quite as strong, can't really shoot as well as Clint. I know I got a long way to go to get him where he needs to be, but he's doing okay. We'll get there, Mason. It'll be good, brother, I promise.